Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Yesterday morning when we discussed sports, we talked about the potential scores of what the match between the Super Falcons and Banyana Banyana was going to result into. And of course, Oshoala made predictions that was going to be 3-1 in favor of the Super Falcons. Well, unfortunately, whilst they hope to clinch their 10th title in WAFCON, Banyana Banyana had other plans. We have Joe joining us this morning. Good morning, Joe. Thank you very much. It's a delight to see you again, once again on our TV screens. We certainly missed you.
It's good to be here, guys. It's good to be here. Good morning. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Oshoala. Good morning, Olive. Great matchup with that red you guys have going on there.
I know what they say about great minds thinking alike.
Yeah, maybe because I've been out of the bucket, that's why I didn't get a touch of red.
Don't worry, you get the memo. Just 24 hours here and you get the memo.
You'll be back.
So Oshoala did predict that it was going to be a 3-1 win in favor of the Super Falcons. Did you see that? Did you see how it was eventually going to turn out coming, or did you have hopes for Super Falcons?
It ended up as a shocker to many, especially with the fact that Onyeye was here on the show as well. Yes. And there was a lot of confidence that was in the air that they were going to do justice to that game. They were going to beat, no doubt, the South Africans. But you know what? South Africa secured the 2-1 victory over Nigeria in their opening match in the 2022 Africa Women's Cup of Nations Group C game on Monday. Now, 2 second-half goals from Jermaine, Seoposenwe, and of course Hildah Magaia inspired Banyana Banyana to a win over the Super Falcons, who netted a late consolation goal through Rasheedat Ajibade at Stade Moulay Hassan Stadium in Morocco. It was not looking really good for the Super Falcons, I could say. The match billed as the final before the final saw Spain-based attackers Asisat Oshoala and Thembi Kgatlana going head-to-head in the that blockbuster clash. But you can see the game right there on the screen. Of course, the South Africans all looking very bright, and that they have that goal there. It was indeed a lack in the defensive area, no doubt. But South Africa did most of the attacking, by the way, in the opening exchanges, and they won several corner kicks, which were cleared away by the Super Falcons with ease. But they couldn't defend so strongly against that. The victory saw South Africa get off to a winning start in the continental tournament, and they will now face Burundi on Thursday. That's the second goal Oliver Oshoala. Oh, and then she gave you the Nigerian dance there. On the other hand, Nigeria will be determined to return to winning ways when they take on Botswana on the same day. So a lot of Nigerians are saying, how did this happen? But you know what? This morning on Breakfast Central, I do have a football commentator, Favour Itua, who joins me here this morning. Good morning to you, Favour. Thanks for being here all the way from Port Harcourt. It's good to have you.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, Favour. Now, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who were seeking a 10th WAFCON title, suffered a setback in the hands of the Banyana Banyana, in South Africa in the opener. Now, do we call this just a blip, or is it the team looking like they are not good enough?
Well, I heard you say that you were shocked, but I'm one of the persons that was not shocked about the result. Because if you follow the Super Falcons closely, the Aisha Buhari Cup, even before the Aisha Buhari Cup, in 2018 when they won the African Cup of the Women Cup of Nations, they were not so fantastic. They struggled to beat South Africa in the finals via penalties. Remember, South Africa won them in the first game of the tournament. And aside that, the Super Falcons, the former coach of the Super Falcons, Thomas Thembi, had said, before now that football has, improved in Africa, especially the women football, and the Super Falcons need to improve. But it's so sad that the new coach, Randy Waldrum, did not learn any lesson from the Aisha Buhari Cup, because the South Africans, one thing you should know is that they've been so intentional about development of women football in their country. When you see their players play, Disraelis has been with the team since 2015 till now. That's a long time for a coach to be with the team. So she has really, understudied the Super Falcons, know their strength. Of course, the Super Falcons' strength is from the wings, and they try to do the long balls. The South Africans put the ball on the ground. They know that pace for pace, they are better than the Super Falcons. So they utilize their strength and also ensure that they caged whoever will be the threat in the Super Falcons team. That's talking about Asisat Oshoala. So I would say the Super Falcons did not do their homework well. They didn't really study the South Africans. Rather, it was the South Africans who really, took out time to watch the Super Falcons play. They won us at the Aisha Buhari Cup. In the last 4 matches we've played, like in the Nations Cup, we played 2 matches at the 2018 Nations Cup. We lost 1, we won 1. They've had 3 wins in 4 meetings against the Super Falcons. It goes to show you that Nigeria is still here to, they're still thinking that in the past glory. Meanwhile, other teams have, improved, they've stepped up, they want to overthrow the defending champion. So I think it's a wake-up call for the Super Falcons. Some persons will say there's no cause for alarm, but if you saw that game between Botswana and Burundi, you would definitely know that it's not going to be an easy one on Thursday when the Super Falcons play against, Botswana. So yesterday's game, I would say the coach should take the blame. I mean, he had the opportunity to put some players in the right positions. He didn't do that. I mean, Asisat Oshoala plays from the flank in their club side Barcelona, but yesterday she played from the central position, allowing Ifeoma Onumunu, who got one of our or two of our goals when we played against Cote d'Ivoire at the qualifiers, played out from the flanks, which of course out of position. Then talk about the defense. Ashley Plumpton is a central defender. Even though, yes, she tried her best and she was fantastic, one of the best players on the day from the left wing back, I think she should be played in a natural position. Either one of maybe or Harley should sit out for her, and then a natural left wing left back. Talking about Gloria Ogbonna, should be put at the left wing back position. And the midfield, trust me, we have players who have been in the Super Falcons for the past 10 years. You talk about Onomebi, you talk about Harley, you talk about Rita Chikwelu in the midfield. We have young players, vibrant players on the bench, but we didn't see that come to play. I also want to say the South Africans kept some of their most experienced players on the bench. Jane Van Wyk. She's an experienced defender. She didn't start the game. She didn't even play the game. She was on the bench. You talk about also, Salgado did not even come to the tournament. She scored against Nigeria at the Aisha Buhari Cup. It goes to show you that the coach is trying to live life after the senior players and try to bring in mixture of youth and the senior players in the team. Seoposenwe was not at the Aisha Buhari Cup. She was one of the ladies that got the goals yesterday. Talk about Sesane, talk about Hildah. A lot of them came yesterday. We could see the synergy. In 2022, the Super Falcons is struggling to put the ball on the ground, to play from the back. It goes to show you that we have miles, as in we have a lot of work to do. We are carried away by Nigeria as the defending champions. We've done it before, but football has left us while we are still, praising ourselves, telling ourselves that we are still the champions of Africa.
All right.
I mean, we're going to see more shockers if we're not careful.
All right, Favour, I mean, you sound so unhappy with the results, and you've already pointed out the areas where Coach Randy Waldrum has made some mistakes and where he needs to make corrections as soon as possible. But do you think, given the starting berth to a number of debutants in his squad, I mean, away from the old guards who started from the bench, let's look at a few names that you've mentioned. Do you think, what better way do you think he would have indeed arranged the players in terms of strategy?
All right, for the Super Falcons, of course, we know their strength is from the wings, and you will not wake up one day and start putting the ball on the ground. So I would have gone for, of course, the defense. No issue with the defense, except for the fact that Ashley Plumpton would have gone to the central position, maybe pair with Onomebi. Don't forget, she played with Onomebi at the last friendlies that we had in the United States of America. So from the left back, Gloria Ogbonna. Then the middle, I'd rather bring in, instead of having a Rita Chikwelu in the midfield, I'll look for someone else fresher, and that'll play the midfield. For instance, we have Alimatu Aide in the midfield. We also have Rasheedat Ajibade in the midfield. Maybe one of the attackers who probably play, or Dega, would just be ahead of the midfield and allow Aide and Ajibade to play like that, so that we'll have more bite in the attack. If you notice, Francisca Odega came into the game and he changed a bit. Well, of course, we got the equalizer in the second half. Then up front, Asisat Oshoala will play from the flanks. Ifeanyi Onumunu from the middle, and then I try to remember the last player we had at the flank. It will still go like that, or maybe I'll bring in someone like Kanu, who of course have gotten many goals at a club side in Mexico. See, we need to start living life after this, senior players, and then of course, when we ought to change, it is important for the coach to know when to change. I mean, Asisat Oshoala had nothing to do again in the second half, but obviously, for obvious reasons, I don't understand. We left her in the game, and it
could be that he was actually expecting her to play more. But let's also look at the fact that South Africa has indeed defeated Nigeria many a times, and it's obviously clear that Desiree has indeed put that mark, especially that mark, a dent on the Nigerian side, because she's won more times when you look at other coaches beating Nigeria back to back. But does this call for indigenous coaches right now for Nigeria, looking that the indigenous coaches may as well know the Nigerian players very well? If South Africa could have that, how much more of, Nigeria?
The last time we ever had it good in the Super Falcons was when an indigenous coach, Florence Omagbemi, was the coach of the national team. I mean, we had a fantastic squad. We saw what happened in 2016 in Cameroon, playing against the host nation, Cameroon, in the final. We saw how the team, Desire Kwadanuzie and the likes, were able to bring out the best. We also had at one point in time Uche Okeria. We also had at one point in time Edwin Okon. These are persons who have really done a lot. But you know one thing in Nigeria, we are not too confident with our own. And one thing you need to know about indigenous coaches, you have to give them time. The Israelis did not start winning medals or winning trophies when she was employed. She was given enough time to build a team. She was given enough time to use to intentionally develop talent and ensure that the best players are recruited for the national team. But in Nigeria, one thing we lack is patience. So if we're bringing an indigenous coach, if you notice, we always do not have time for them. But when we bring a foreign coach, we try to give them some excuse. Oh, they've done this, let's give them time. And trust me, the national team, we've had more success with our indigenous coaches in the Falcons team than the foreign-based coaches. The foreign-based coaches, for instance, Randy Waldron, with due respect to him, his first national team is with the Super Falcons. He's been coaching university teams in the United States of America. So this is his first national team job. So it's different from coaching a university team to a national team. Look at Morocco. Morocco employed a Champions League winning coach who won with Lyon, won league titles with Lyon. That shows you that they want to see quality in their team. So whoever is the M's of affair right now goes to show you how long or how much the team will go when it comes to the world of football. It's not rocket science. You can't give what you don't have.
That's
so
right.
The NFF also need to do well in terms of recruiting and start believing in our own. It might not be the same with the Super Eagles, but the Super Falcons, we've seen over the years that our ex-internationals, like Florence Omagbemi, and we know how she was, she was pushed out of the national team, issues there and there, but so far so good. She brought in a good Super Falcons team who could play from the ground, who could play beautiful football and string passes together.
That's right. Well, we could go on and on and on and talk about this game, but it's something that everyone should actually look forward to the next match where the Super Falcons will be playing. Thank you so much, Favour Itua, for joining us here live on Breakfast Central.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Okay, so right before I push it back to you, Oliver Nassauge, let's also take a look at some of the results, if we can, and take a look and see what, especially with what we've just said about the Super Falcons, there are possibilities that they may win the next game if they can, but if they don't, then this will call to question the appointment of the coach, who hasn't done much in possibly trying to learn about the players before he indeed fills them in their rightful position. Well, there you have it. Nigeria loses to South Africa there 2-1, and Burundi also losing to Burkina Faso by 4-2. We'll also look forward to the next game. Burkina Faso will play Senegal, and then Uganda will take on Morocco. So make sure that you do not miss these games as well. Seychelles will take on Botswana, and also you have Angola taking on Comoros. Now, I look forward to that match as well. So many drama back and forth, especially at these games. But you know what? It's fantastic to see the ladies play. Osage, what's your take on that?
I'm still disappointed. We didn't get that win. Obviously, a lot more needs to be done. Like Mr. Itua has said, a lot more work needs to be done on the team. I remember Oye yesterday was speaking about the difference in experience, on the South African side and the young players, the newbies that are joining the Super Falcons. So some of all those things will need to be fixed here and there to ensure that we, of course, stand a higher chance, of winning it once again.
That's right. Olive, you're not smiling this time.
No, I am smiling. I'm for whichever team does the work.
She's particularly happy that a female coach beat a male coach.
May the best team win.
Exactly, may the best team win, and the best team apparently has won. It's a lesson to the Super Falcons. We cannot rest. We must continually put the work and not rely on old glory. And, maybe yesterday we talked about introducing new players for the first time to African Women Cup of Nations, and wondering if that was actually a good idea, a good move by the coach. But I'm sure that by the next game, they would have enough time to put house in order. And we look forward to seeing if they'll come back with some revenge and some fire in their bones.
Great.
That's all that we can take now on sports. It's a delight to have you, Joe. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on sports.